Blah, y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to have from your drama, or maybe have from your baby mama. Aha! Just kidding. But anyways, fans, thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching! And today we have a very special guest, one of my boys. I'll give it up for Gary. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm happy to have you, man. It took a minute. I gotta say, brother, I'm really grateful that you came to the play. You got to see me perform. Being the main character. I gotta know what was your experience. Coming to the showcase.
It was really interesting. I was not really sure what to expect. And then getting in there, it was pretty funny kind of watching everything. But it was really cool seeing you on the stage because you carried so much of the play. Like a lot of times I was a little unsure of what was happening with everything and what was going on. I had a few shots, so that didn't help. But then you get on stage, you'd say your lines. And I was like, oh, that's David. And I understand what he's saying. The projection was great. Your acting was great. I was really, really surprised with you. It was really cool. And then everything else it was a fun night. I had a really good time.
Man, that's awesome, brother. I'm really happy, man. I do gotta say, one thing that me, I'm gonna be honest, the whole crowd was full. The whole crowd was filled up, which was shocking. I gotta say, at least 200 people show up. It was a full house, no lie.
It was crowded.
So I got a little nervous. My heart was beating. My palms were heavy. My spaghetti, it got real.
All day.
And when I went up, man, it was just so nice to see my friends, my family out there. And I think the crazy thing is that at the end of the show, of the play, when they said Lord Fontaine by David Montalvo, the whole crowd was cheering. That was the crazy part.
We went nuts. We were waiting for you too. We were like, oh, hey, David's going to be up next. Okay, we got to go. Even my friend Aliana, who I brought along with me, I was like, okay, get ready to make noise. She was not afraid to make noise. She screamed. So it was everybody in the section, and everybody in the house went nuts. It was cool.
Oh, man, it was awesome, fam. Thank you. Cool. And it's crazy because I had the loudest cheer. Even my co-host, my wife that plays in the show, she was like, "Damn, you're famous. Everybody knows you."
Had to be a quarter of the room of people you invited. It was great. It was a lot of people there that from work and everything.
Yeah, I was shocked. I'm happy they really came. I think that was awesome, and I think it was so funny that night because. I haven't drank for 6 months. You already know that. And I was like, you know what? I got to celebrate. I finished the play, all that hard work in 3 months. I got to celebrate. So it was crazy. One of our friends, Demi, he was like, hey, let's take shots. Bro, he ordered the first round. It was 13 shots. And then he got another round. And my friend got me a shot. Bro, I was messed up. I'm not gonna lie. And
we all were. Everybody. Amai. I've never seen her at all. Even she's so responsible, but she was having a good time. Everybody was. It was a good night, man. I appreciate you having us out. It was cool.
Oh man, of course, man. It's an honor, brother. And I think it's cool because for people who don't know, there from our fans out there. I was the first Mexican Guatemalan Jew in history to have a major role in a play. That's big by itself. And knowing that the people were able to hear my voice, like you said, I was able to project. I was clear. I've been practicing hard. Gary, I've been practicing a lot.
Oh, I remember, Chef. I remember. Every morning, Chef. Where is my breakfast? Every day.
Oh man.
My God.
Hilarious. Thank you, brother. Man, that was awesome. Well, I gotta say, man, do you remember everything that happened that night? Because I know we got pretty messed up.
No, I do not. There are large parts of that night that have been told to me that I was surprised to hear about, to say the least. Yeah. So there's a lot of it's not coming back. But I was having a good time. I know that. And I remember the end of the night too. I remember being driven home, but there was a large chunk in the middle that, and it's not coming back.
Oh man, you're so funny, brother. Well, I gotta say, brother, so my fans to get to know you a little bit more, tell us a little bit more about like your hobbies and a little bit about yourself if you were born and raised in Vegas.
Yeah, so my two favorite things are piano and chess. Those are like kind of what I do in my spare time. I was born and raised in Vegas. I went up to Reno for 5 years doing school, came back. Yeah, just like to have a good time, like to, do my job. And yeah, just,
Wow.
that's about all there is.
And chess, tell me more about chess because I'm gonna be honest, my fans out there, this brother right here, I call him the chess master because he has beaten me so many times in chess. I ain't lying. I wish I could say I beat him like 8 times. But he is so good. I feel like he knows how to corner me. It's something I learned today when we were playing. He's like, my goal is for you to not, to be cornered where you don't have a lot of space to move. And the second thing he said was, I don't want you to. What's that thing when you put the horse and the little thing and you kind of go like that?
Castle. Yeah, I want you to forfeit the right to castle. Yeah.
There you go. And that's really dope because I'm so used to just moving the piece. And he has like a couple moves that he wants to do, which is so cool. So, brother, please tell me how did you get into chess? Like, did somebody influence you or was it
Yeah,
YouTube?
so for your fans, I do want to say that I do really enjoy chess, but I'm actually not David's hyping me up a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of there's many chess players who would absolutely ruin me very quickly. But as far as chess is concerned, I've been playing since I was a kid. I learned from my father, and he was never like a big tournament player or anything, but he was certainly good at the game. He had some things that he wasn't sure about that I kind of built on from the knowledge I learned against him. But I played him. My God, I must have played him 700 or 800 times before I beat him for my first time. That was just what I did. I'd come out and just play and lose, play and lose, play and lose, and I didn't give up. I was just gonna do it until I won, and I finally won for the first time. And then he was like, "Oh, okay," and then he went a little harder. But then after that, maybe it was another 30 or 40 times before I beat him again. And now it's actually recently beat him for 3 times in a row, which is the first time I've ever done it. So it's a good, it's cool to watch your own progress and kind of learn and build upon the knowledge that he gave me. So that's kind of where it came from.
It's nice that you had that bonding experience with your father. I think that's really
Yeah, and
nice.
now I get to give it to my nephew too, because my nephew, he's like maybe like 6 or 7. I should know his age. I don't, but he's coming up. He's getting a little older, and he's like showing interest in chess. So now when he comes over, I'll play a game with him, and he doesn't really get it yet, but he's kind of figuring out the moves and trying to learn. So it's cool to it's just a good. I mean, it's a game it's like 600 years old, so it's sticking around for a minute, and it's cool to kind of be that for somebody else and watch them kind of learn and grow in the same way that you did. It's a cool game. It's a cool game.
That's all. That's very inspiring, brother. I gotta say, so like for me growing up, I don't remember who taught me how to play chess. I don't remember. It's sad. I wasn't really into it. Like I played it with my friends like, hey, let's play, but I wasn't like a big fan like today now that I'm older.
Mhm.
I didn't notice how important it is. And for those who don't know, I gotta share this. So, and I told this to Gary, I think 2 days ago. One of my cousins from Mexico, she's about 6 or 7 years old. She she's been playing chess with her father for a long time. And it's crazy because my cousin, I mean, I never thought this could happen, but she came first in Mexico in her division. And the crazy thing, the basically she was able to get visa from the government, and they helped her so she can compete in Brazil and Costa Rica and play people like they're the top, but in her age. And she
Awesome.
won. And I think that's so cool because I feel kind of good, even though genetically I can't be Gary, but in my bloodline, it's somewhere in there. They got our
It's,
spirit.
you'll get it, man. You'll get it. just gotta stick with it. And honestly, one thing that I want to stress, especially to new players or people who are interested in the game, is that the route that I took and the route that you're taking is not necessarily the best route. You'll learn if you keep just playing and watching somebody who's better than you play. But if you really want to get good at the game and kind of do it in a more like timely fashion, it's really important to learn from like outside resources. YouTube videos are the easiest one, right? Nobody wants to read a chess book. I try to read a chess book. That shit's hard. And anybody who's listening to this knows their stuff about chess is like, this guy's never read a chess book. He's not that good. You're right. I'm not. Like, I can't read a chess book. But it's important to learn from the outside resources because they'll start to talk about those concepts that I didn't even know until, because like I played chess my whole life, but I wasn't really good at all until about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I took it a lot more seriously, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like look up theory, I'm gonna look up openings, I'm gonna figure out like, how does this, why is this move better, why are bishops better in an endgame than knights? Is it better to castle long or short in what situations? Just things that are just concepts. And if you learn those through those resources, they're going to streamline the experience a lot more. You could do it the other way too, like I did it, and just lose over and over again. You'll get better, but there is a cap to that. You'll only get so far by doing it. There's a certain point where you have to like pick up a resource and like learn to get to that higher level. Whoa. So I recommend that to you and any other new player, anybody who's interested in it. Honestly, Gotham Chess, he's like the most popular YouTube chess guy. I always recommend people because he's entertaining, right? Nobody wants to watch somebody who's like really good at chess but really boring, and they're explaining their thought process and they're not funny. And actually, this guy's funny. He's funny and he's fun to watch. So that's where I've learned a lot of my stuff. So, but yeah, if you look online, there's tons of resources.
I like that. And one thing I could share, I think is very powerful. We talked about this too. One of my mentors, he's my real estate, and he's also my one of my best friends here in Vegas. And he said, Michael, I had him on the show a few times. He said that in life it's like chess, and I'm gonna get a little philosophical. This I kind of like it.
Go ahead.
He said that, like, for example, at work, right? You have the people that are under you, who's like one rank below. They're your pawns. And then they have you, right? You're like let's just say the horse, for example. And the people higher than you are the bishops. And the people higher than them are like the corporate kings and queens. So if you can find a way in life to use your pawns as your advantage to help you get to the bishop, right? Building your army, you can move fast in life. You just got to use your pieces. He was saying how like people that are alone, right, where they don't have any friends, they don't really like to network or make connections. They're always going to be stuck in like, you could say, like in a box. They don't really grow using their sources. Kind of like what you're saying, go to YouTube. But the same with life, like even for a company, you gotta find your way how to kind of be cool with everybody, and how can they help me get to where I gotta be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like that. I like that really much. Now, I heard something really crazy. I have to share this with you about chess, how it can come to life. If you're married, you have your kids, they're like the pawns. You have your aunt, if she lives with you, or your grandma, she's like the bishop. And then you have you and your partner. So you have the king and the queen, right? In chess, you already know that the king, if he loses or goes away, the game's over. Now the queen is so interesting. My friend gave me a different debate. The queen is the most important piece because it can move anywhere in the game and in life. So I feel like your partner, whoever it may be, could do a lot, even if you leave. Technically, if I have to be a little, skeptical a little bit, your partner can actually still live life without you. I'm gonna be real, because it can still move around. Like, take the kids. All right, we got to take them. We got to move to a different state, maybe start a new chapter. I didn't notice that until my other friend told me that, and I think it's so real how chess can be applied to life. I mean, what's your thoughts, brother?
I think there's definitely some comparisons that can be drawn to a lot of things. Um, One of the first things that they used chess for was to train generals and young princes and people that they thought were going to be leaders. They used it to train them to think in a certain capacity, especially when it comes to things like sacrifice or trying to do things with certain pieces, like you were saying, like maybe you move a pawn, sacrifice it. I don't know if that one carries over to like the family metaphor, but I mean, I think it can be drawn anywhere, right? So I definitely think it's a good metaphor for kind of decision making, right? Because you really have to think in chess, not just about what you're doing, but what your opponent's doing as well. And that's something that a lot of beginners miss. They're always trying to play their own side of the board instead of playing the opponent's side of the board. A good chess player is always thinking, okay, this is what I want to do, but what does my opponent want to do? Because he wants to win this game too. So he's trying to do something to me. I don't know where that draws in life. I don't know what the opponent is, but I think it's definitely something to be said about thinking about not only your perspective, but the perspective of others and what they're trying to do. And maybe they're not necessarily the enemy like they are in chess, but you have to be aware of other people's motives and intentions, and you have to use them either to your advantage to help both of you if you're on the same side, or to beat them if you're in a competition with them. And I think that's a big metaphor that can be drawn for chess as well.
Oh, that's good, man. That's real deep. That's oof. You got me with that one, brother. And I gotta say something I learned today from you. You said that, so for those who have never played chess, is either you're the brown piece or the white piece. And if you're the white pieces, you guys go first. If you're the brown piece, you just wait until your turn. You're like basically second in control. Right now, you don't got power yet, but my thing, what I learned from you, Gary, is that most of the time the white pieces win, right?
They have a higher winning chance than the black. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say most of the time. I think most people run. I think like at the grandmaster level, like the most efficient, you're gonna have like your highest win percentages are gonna be like 60% with white, and then maybe like 45% with black. So it's not like it's guaranteed, but white definitely has an initial advantage, maybe 55%, 45, but white definitely has an initial advantage because they lead the pace. You start with the move, and now, the black pieces can't just do whatever they want. They have to respond to your move. Like, you can't just ignore the move. You have to like, okay, what am I going to do about this? And that tempo is going to carry until black either equalizes and the game is okay, now we're at an even pace, or until like a draw, until but both sides are like, I can't get an advantage. So yeah,
I learned a lot of stuff, brother, from you. I'm telling you, man. I'll be trying to try different techniques. It's funny today. We were when I saw you go first, right? I was like, all right, cool. Let me move my queen. You see? In the first 3 games, my boy is like, damn, man, you keep bringing that queen out, making me think. They're like, now I'm going to do something else. And I was so happy you did a different opening and brought the horse in. I thought that was really cool, man. I'm really happy that you did something else. You know what I'm saying?
So for anyone who's listening who knows anything about chess openings, I was playing the Italian against him, but I would bring out my queen early just to kind of go for some of the cheese techniques, kind of just mess with them a little bit. And so to counter that, he would bring out his black queen to defend it, and that would give us wild openings where both of our queens were out in the center of the field and almost nothing else was developed, which was fun for a few games. But then I was like, okay, enough of this like nonsense. We're gonna actually play like real chess. Like, I can't bring my queen out and his queen in the middle and nobody else has developed. That's not how we play the game. But it was fun. It was a good time. Yeah. I'm sure chess commentators would have a few things to say about our games. They'd say, wow, this is bad. But hey, it's fun. That's the thing too. I hate the idea that chess is only for like smart people, or it's like an elitist thing. No, anybody can play chess. You have to be smart to be really, really good at it, to be like a master or a grandmaster or whatever. But chess is just a game, it's just a game. Yeah, anybody can play it. Anybody can have a good time with it. I don't think people should have this elitist attitude like, oh, I play chess, I'm so sorry. Like, fuck you, dude. You play a game. You play a board game. Come on, let's be real. But it's a good game. It's fun, and it will teach you a lot. It'll make you think, at least. It's a game that will make you think.
That's true, brother. And I gotta ask you, man. So I know there was a tournament going on. You were telling me
It ended. It ended. But yeah, we have the final results, and yeah, the candidates tournament for anybody who's even mildly interested in chess, like the chess. Professional chess. The candidates tournament is the tournament that gets to determine who plays the world champion, Magnus Carlsen, and that just concluded, I think, 2 days ago.
and Napo won, right? Didn't he win like the?
Yep.
He was like a finalist, right?
Nepo ended up in first place. Yes. So he is as long as big controversy, right? Magnus Carlsen was saying that he may not play against Nepo because he just beat Nepo last year. And he, honestly, the first like 6 games were really close, and then Magnus beat him in the 6th game, and after that he crumbled. Like his mental state just went downhill, and it wasn't close. Like every game after that, Magnus was either destroying him or it was a quick draw. They weren't close. So Magnus was saying that if he wins again, he might not be interested in defending his title, which I think is a cop-out. Even if you can win, like you should win. If you can win, you should defend your title. But that does leave us in an interesting thing, and we won't know for a few months until they talk to Magnus. But if Magnus decides he doesn't want to defend his title, then Nepo will be playing the 2nd place in the tournament, who ended up being Dingley Ren, who is got a very interesting backstory. He is from China, and he has had a hell of a time with like the CCP, and just his whole these last 2 years have been brutal for him. He can't travel places. They've been keeping him from playing certain Yeah. So basically, if Magnus decides not to play Nepo, because Nepo won, it would go to 2nd place. 2nd place is a guy called Dingley Ren. Dingley Ren is a Chinese player. He's rated number 2 in the world, and I was just saying he's had a tragic backstory because China, the CCP, have been keeping him from traveling and playing chess tournaments. They've been keeping him locked down in China, and he's missing all these opportunities, and he's just had a hell of a time, especially since the pandemic. But he's an amazing chess player. I always want America to win. Being an American, I always want the American players to win, but I also feel for the guy. He's just a great chess player, and his potential is being somewhat squandered by his country, which is messed up. But if Magnus decides not to play and says, no, I'm not going to defend my title, it will be Nepo versus Dingley Ren, and that would be very interesting. I think Dingley Ren has strong chances against Nepo because he is a very, very strong player. I don't know who I'd put my money on, but I definitely think it would be a really good fight.
Dang, and Nepo is from Russia.
Mm-hmm. Nepo was from Russia. Man. It's funny because most of the guys have the flag of their nation next to them. He's got something else, and if you look at Nepo, it's some world organization flag. I don't know if it's because of everything that's going on with Russia or what. If he's not representing them, a lot of grandmasters are doing that. A lot of chess grandmasters with the whole invasion of Ukraine have denounced their country. They're I'm not playing for Russia anymore. This is wrong. And then one grandmaster was no, go Russia. We should be invading Ukraine. They banned him from chess for 6 months. It's been weird. Yeah, the politics in chess gets kind of real sometimes, especially because there's so many international players. There's so many people from different parts of the world. It gets a little weird sometimes. It's why this is weird, but yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Damn. It was definitely it was a great tournament. I mean, I watched every game of it, and there were some great players. God, there's so much talent up at the top, but yeah, Richard Rapport, who is one of my favorite players. Sadly, he's a crazy attacking player, but sadly he gets too aggressive sometimes. He finished last. But we got Alireza Firouzja. He's 19. He's trying to battle it out right now, and he didn't do so well either. Fabiano Caruana. I don't know, man. You should check him out. You should just watch the Gotham recaps, or maybe just watch some Gotham videos. I don't know. Get into chess a little bit more. You'll know what I'm talking about. But some great players.
No, that's really cool. Well, look, man, I'm gonna wrap it up, brother. This is the Outlet to Reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching! And you know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat is Take One Pass It, and my TikTok is at Yaakov28. And Gary, where can my fans find you?
I don't do social media. I have no idea.